Welcome to Volstars, a GammaStrike production.
Welcome to Volstars, where we talk everything markets and those who make them. Today's episode is brought to you by Kevin Warsh Consulting, LLC, the proven leaders in creating the appearance of a voluminous work product with the veneer of value. Let us right-size the number of committees to mirror the number of tasks you can't complete but still want to be paid to do. Want to lower inflation? We've got a committee for that. Want to improve econometric models? We've got a committee for that. Need to resolve an argument over whether pineapple belongs on pizza? Let's go ahead and escalate that to a task force. No one creates the appearance of doing something while doing nothing, quite like the U.S. Federal Reserve. We've been able to aggressively not resolve inflation for over 5 years by doing nothing, and even convinced everyone else we're still doing too much. Let us put that strategic inaction to work for you. And finally, by GammaStrike.com, providing actionable real-time data for every type of trader. You've tried the rest, now try the best, GammaStrike.com. I'm Jay Fresh, and I'm joined by our co-host, Gherk and Dork. Let's get into the market overview. All right, so...
That was a great intro.
It was excellent, Jay Fresh. One for the books.
So good.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go back and put in something that's really offensive, and so we have you guys be like, "Oh, that's so great!" Like killing puppies.
I still think it was great.
Don't know why that one is.
Yeah, it had to be something really offensive like pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, okay.
Fruit and-
Well,
I mean, fruit and cheese is not the craziest thing ever. I'm never just like, hey, we should put a pineapple on this. But if it's there, like, and I'm really hungry, I'll eat it. I don't know. I
We're
don't
not
feel that
figs.
strongly about it. Again, I like, yes, sure. Yeah, like all that sounds great. Like fruit and cheese, it works. It's not. Yeah, it's I just don't feel much about it either way. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's that bad. It's just kind of meh.
It's just there. It's a good, nice little charcuterie, but you place it on some dough and bake it, and now all of a sudden it's a travesty.
Yeah, you put the charcuterie together, and all of a sudden it's inexcusable. But if it's separated,
other cultures are capable of making their own versions of pizza. You have the quesadilla, you have the grilled cheese with tomato soup. It's not out of the, like, they don't have to just take their shitty fruit and put it on someone else's cultural cuisine.
Who's they?
Other people, whoever's got, I don't know who has pineapples, but the pineapple people, Canadians, I think they started it. Of course they fucking did. No, the Hawaiians didn't start putting pineapple on pizza. They have class.
I guess so, huh? I don't know.
Yeah, it was the fucking Canadians. That's who did it. They were like, ooh, pineapple and ham, or whatever.
Ooh, we should take this. We should take this Canadian bacon and these pineapples and put it on our pizza, eh?
Yeah, that's what they fucking did.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
Worse
summon,
yet, it's like
summon
fruit cocktail pineapple. It's not like
I know.
It's not like fresh pineapple. And then why are they keeping the tomato sauce on there? They could just
that's a whole other issue
also.
though. Like that's fine, and some people do. They'll do like barbecue sauce. But anyway, no, like, have you ever had canned mushrooms, like diced mushrooms from a can?
Oh, they're so bad.
The most disgusting thing of all time.
Yes.
And I just remember this one time we were traveling. I can't even remember what it was for, but we just like stopped at this one Mexican restaurant because there's not. It was in. I can't remember what city it was. It wasn't.
Why would you eat Mexican food on a road trip? Never mind.
Yeah, lots of mistakes were made. But my wife ordered some sort of burrito, and it was just stuffed with canned It's like they took the whole can and just made a layer of it in there. Like they didn't even like mix it in, and it was exactly what you're imagining. It's just
It's 12 cents a can. I mean, it probably was a whole can.
oh yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, it was.
Who puts mushrooms in a burrito?
As someone who grew up unbelievably poor, I have had canned mushrooms in my home, and I have tried. Have you ever tried to take a can of mushrooms and then brown them?
It doesn't work.
That
It's
doesn't
pure
seem
water.
like
So
that work. It's too watery.
Canned
right?
mushrooms are effectively steamed. But if you get the whole ones, like the whole button mushrooms in a can, you can brown them. It just takes years. You have to like cook them. You have to cook them on like a medium low heat for 7 to 8 hours.
That's
and
insane.
Once the water is finally expelled, you have mushroom leather, and then you can put the mushroom leather into your dish and pretend like you have mushrooms.
Or you could just get fresh mushrooms.
Yeah, you could.
Maybe they're like a few bucks more.
How
They're
much
not
more
even.
expensive?
They're just as cheap
Yeah.
for the quantity. They're
Yeah.
maybe cheaper.
Yeah, the problem is they're just like, oh, you want mushrooms for 15? Here you go. It's like, no, I want.
You know what's weird about them though is they're not a plant or an animal.
They're closer to
Mm.
animals than plants, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Are mushrooms vegan?
I don't
What's
know.
really important is that we're gonna now talk for 2 hours about food.
Mm.
And
Yeah, no, let's talk about the ethical complications of being a vegan and trying to eat a mushroom.
Ooh.
I don't know. I tried to be a vegetarian for a while, and I just ended up eating a lot of cheese and
Like, are all the
chips.
vegans in Brooklyn who go foraging, like, actually killing animals?
Nobody in New York City is going foraging. You're in a
Yes,
city.
they do, and it's fucking so annoying.
Or
to
they
Wait,
listen to
where are
them
they
talk
going
about it.
foraging? Where are they going?
I don't fucking know, man.
Like
the
upstate or
Central
something?
Park? No, they don't
Central
even go
Park?
that far.
Central Park's just full of just like old pizza crusts.
Yeah, they're
and
just
stuff.
robbing
There's
food
all
from the
kinds of like
homeless.
woods in New York City. I don't know what you guys think is going on here. The entire fucking area is covered with trees and grass and shit. It's just, there's just parks that have streets, but there's like acres upon
foraging.
acres of parkland.
I
but
just
not,
assume
like,
New York is like San
food-growing
Francisco and it smells like
plants.
poo.
It does.
Yeah,
But
it's
you know
actually-
what? I
yeah,
will
it's
say
much
something
dirtier
about
than
New York.
Chicago.
I've never seen a homeless. I've seen homeless people shit on the streets in New York. Like, I've seen the evidence that they shit there, but I have never seen a homeless person shit on the street in New York. Yet, every time I've been to San Francisco, I've seen like 5 or 6 people mid shit making eye contact with me.
Yeah, that's why I don't like San Francisco.
Same thing with Paris. I don't like Paris because the
It's
poo
just
and
like,
the
it's just
pee.
like the street shitters in New York are classier.
Right,
They're-
they have some privacy.
they're
And
like-
something. You get like a newspaper and cover it
They
up.
wait
You
till
know?
it's dark and shit on the street, or they go down into the subway and shit.
Ah, yes, the
Yeah,
classiest
that's,
place to
that's
shit.
where you
In
go.
an enclosed space.
The gentleman's public shit.
Right against the wall. Just
Right.
a horizontally projectiled poo. Anyway, okay, back to things that this podcast is supposed to be about.
Right.
What foods are acceptable and what foods are not.
Yes,
We're
of
clearly
course.
No,
doing
no, we
something
have-
right. We've picked up a second viewer.
That's true. We did pick up 2
Yeah.
viewers, and it's
It
not
may
my
or may
Yeah,
not
I
mom's
think
time.
I think our goal should probably be to spend the rest of this episode trying to lose that extra viewer.
Oh, we'll
We-
do it.
It'll,
You
by
think
the end of
so?
this episode,
Well,
they'll be
we could
grossed
talk
out.
about something that is pretty
If they
unpopular
weren't
as
turned
of
off
late.
by subway shits, I don't know what we're doing right.
We could talk about something that's been really unpopular as of late, which is apparently Kevin Warsh.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
he washed
unpopular
those
now?
dishes. Yeah.
They are. I was not able to watch his press conference. I was only able to read the reactions online, and almost universally, everyone was just like, "Oh my god, this was terrible. Is he an idiot? Is he
Yes.
stupid?" And people were saying it was one of the worst pressers of all time, like in a
He's
long
a very
time.
difficult
What did
man
he
to
say?
listen to. Nothing.
Well, how is that any different from any other press
It's
conference?
the way he said nothing that was so disturbing. Did you listen? You didn't listen to it.
No, that's the
Did
thing. I
anybody
only
here
saw the
listen to it?
reactions.
Ron? No one? No one saw it live? Ron saw it live. Okay. It was like listening to like an over medicated like 6th grader try to explain the direction of monetary policy.
Yeah, Ron went over a few little bites.
I think that
of
was
the
accurate.
phrases
Ron
he said.
laughed, so
Ron laughed. Ron's just chomping at the bit to try to get up here. He thought for a sec Dork was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna."
I wasn't going to allow it. I had to.
And Ron was
to
like,
intervene.
"Oh, I'm getting called up from the minor leagues again." And Dork was
Fuck that.
like, "No way."
yeah, I've noticed.
But Ron's just like,
Ron's been trying to build like a fucking fan base lately or something, and I don't know if you know
Yeah.
this, but I'm the popular one.
Yeah, Ron the usurper over here.
Ron is emoting a lot right now. He's trying.
We need to
get
mean girls,
called up.
Ron.
We do, yeah. You can't mog with us. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, so he sounded. I don't know. I'm not. I feel like I'm just not getting what it is that he did that was so terrible.
Ron
He's a
listed out the
chud.
turns of phrases of that he was saying, and apparently, like I listened to those turns of phrases he was saying, and they were all dog shit and stupid and vague. So I can understand why the market wouldn't exactly be stoked at what he was saying because it was nothing.
Well,
But
I
it
mean,
was
but
like
he's been
stupid
doing that
nothing.
since he started. He's always had weird little phrases. He'd be like, "If I was going to talk about this, and I now will." It's like, what? He's always said stupid stuff like that.
Well,
Also,
now he's
what
the
is
Fed
his
president.
accent? I can't place him. Is he like an Appalachian?
Nobody knows. Inbred.
His accent is very strange.
Polish.
It's definitely got like it sounds southern, rural, kind of, but not really. It's like not quite right, you know?
Maybe his first language was Boontling, and he's actually from Appalachia.
Let's see. Ron got something.
Of course he does.
Albany, New York?
Since what? Who is?
Warsh.
Warsh is from Albany?
That does not track. That doesn't sound right. Was he just like isolated as a child? He just
spent his formative
maybe...
years in a basement.
I mean, if you've ever been to Albany, it's a lot like a basement. So, yeah. I actually, I as a New Yorker, I don't have a problem believing that Warsh is from Albany. Offense intended.
I just yeah.
So I'm doing some loose translation here for our Gen Z viewer, but it seems that the internet is absolutely cooked by Warsh's NPC ass fed word salad. Bro keeps dropping cursed LinkedIn core yap like he's trying to riz the bond market, while everyone else is begging him to stop glazing his own thesaurus.
I agree with that. No cap.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
where's J-Pow?
Somebody I don't know.
Up there to mog on his ass.
I don't know where you're reading that from, but it's not NPCs, it's NPCs. Otherwise,
I said NPC ass.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I'm dating myself here.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, you need to get one of those like brass horns for your ear.
Not the target audience here. Yeah.
No, our new Gen Z viewer is. Me and Dork have been working on our slang.
So
I'm sure
we've got
Dork prepped something for this week as well.
Oh yeah, it'll come out later.
Three board members dissented and said they wanted to hike. He called for fewer meetings and talking less. He reiterated. I did see that he reiterated that he wants the market to be a signal, which means he can't lead it. He wants the market to be a leading indicator, which the market does not like because they're so used to being like, the Fed needs to tell me how to invest and what to do.
He's not going to enjoy the market being a signal for very long. That's for sure. It's not something that you really.
It's
you
gonna
really
be
want.
it's gonna be a signal, but that signal is going to be down.
Yeah, well, yeah, the signal is going to be that the bond market is going to come to its own conclusions about inflation. That's for sure.
I have a question. What if you knew you were going to become Fed chair? Like you'd finagled your way into the position undoubtedly. And right before you became the Fed chair, you bought 3-year puts on the SPX that
Did he
you
do
plan to
that?
cash settle in the money.
That's called hike maxing and downs maxing.
Did he do
So-
that? What is this hypothetical?
No. Jeffrey Epstein manages his money, so it's a different. It's a totally different game.
I see.
No,
What's fun-
I'm kidding about that too. He promised that all of the money that he still had with Jeffrey Epstein when he was being considered for the position would be his positions would be liquidated when he became Fed chair. I didn't see any confirmation that he did that, but he did say he would,
Okay.
which is, that's about as honest as you can ask for.
Here's the real question. Does the Federal Reserve have an account with Truth Social, the $100,000 account, to get high-speed access to Trump tweets? Did you guys see that? That went live.
I did. Yeah.
Wait, so you could spend $100,000, the cost of a new truck, and get
Yep.
high-speed access to Trump tweets?
Yep. Get them a little
Couldn't I
bit
just go
before they
long
hit.
the VIX and save $100,000?
Well, no. What if he tweets about like Intel? You want to know 5 seconds before?
Is that all the lead time you get? 5 seconds?
I don't know what the lead time is, but he said high speed. I'm assuming it's.
I mean, I assume the market's just going like people are just going to pay for that and react to his tweets in real time the way they do now, except paying Trump $100,000 for the privilege.
That's very strange that that's a thing.
It
I mean,
is.
we'll see how popular it is, right?
I mean, he'll inevitably have to. He'll have to push the market up and down.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's probably a frustrating thing for him is he likes that he can push the market up, but he doesn't realize that we're at a point where he has to, if he wants to keep pushing it up, he's going to have to let it fall first, so then he can.
Well, he
pump
did it
back.
this weekend. He said, "I'm going to attack Iran with everything we've got and rain, hellfire down upon
Again.
them."
Yeah.
And then he, over the next 12 hours, convinced himself not to do it, and then told everyone he's not going to do it. There's a deal. And then Iran immediately said, "There's no deal," and now oil's down 5%.
Nice. Classic.
Yeah,
I've
they
seen
actually
this one
said
before.
there's
yeah.
no deal. Trump's trying to manipulate the market, and now oil's down 5%.
Neat.
I feel like we're living in a fucked up world when Iran is more truthful than our government.
Yeah, this is all weird.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
is weird. You know what happened?
This is
we didn't
from
put Al Gore in office. If we'd put Al Gore in office, we never would have had 9/11. We imagine how that dude just loved the planet. He really did. And we could have just had him just doodling around, reducing carbon emissions, and then we would have gotten Obama and maybe healthcare, and then would Trump have even been able to run for office? Would he have?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
he
'cause
ran
Trump
for
started with the
office
Tea Party
because of
thing.
Obama. No,
Yeah.
Trump started because Obama.
Yeah, but
made
Obama
fun
would
of
have never
him
had to insult
at a
him.
press correspondence dinner, and
Yeah.
Trump wanted to get back at him, and he did.
Mhm.
I mean, to Trump's credit,
He's gotten back. Yeah, he's gotten back at everyone. Oh, so
Yeah.
you're saying Obama did this to us?
Yes, I am.
It's all
Interesting.
Obama's fault. Got it.
He didn't mean, but to his, to his defense, I don't think he meant to.
Well,
That's true. That's true.
We've all said something stupid when we were
If only
put
he'd
on the
not
spot.
worn
Just
that
look at
tan
Chris
suit.
Rock.
his joke was funny. Okay, the joke was funny.
Did you read
All right,
Fauci's diary where Obama called Trump a fucking idiot?
I didn't, but that's pretty funny because
Yeah,
it's
I
true.
thought so too.
Yeah.
I've also never heard Obama curse, so I
I would love to
really
hear him
enjoyed
curse.
that. Yeah,
I would too. He's probably really
Yeah.
good at it.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's like,
Donald Trump's probably more like me, where I just get frustrated and just say, I'm not that.
don't compare yourself to him. I've never seen you shit your pants at a funeral.
Hey, well,
have.
That's,
I'm not
I
saying
don't-
you haven't. I'm just saying I've
wasn't
never
pretty.
seen you do it.
It stank. It was
Okay,
bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Trump has a colostomy bag, right? So
Does he?
I
Or
don't
just
know.
a diaper? Does he even wear his diaper anymore?
Does
I
it
don't know.
bother?
I haven't seen his diaper changing lady with him recently.
Oh, I wasn't aware he had a diaper changing lady.
Yeah, for a little while. I don't know what happened to her. I think people caught on that he was, had a diaper lady. Well, she was, I don't know, she was like some blonde chick and she was always standing around with a diaper bag. Maybe
Honestly,
it was for Baron.
that's kind of life goals if you ask me. I would like someone to follow me around with a diaper bag.
All right. So, anything else to say about Kevin Warsh before we we got a lot of questions this week.
I mean, he's
so.
from Albany, so
Yeah, it
Yeah.
explains everything.
yeah.
But yeah,
it really narrows things down.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know we it's not on the list here, but I feel like we have to also kind of discuss the bond market, maybe partially in response to Kevin Warsh and partially in response to just generally gestures at everything. But it seems like bond rates are finally making a move, right? The 30-year hit a new 20-year high almost. Bond rate.
It's above 2007.
They announced that the U.S. Treasury and the Bank of Japan did like a joint action with the yen. So like the U.S. is getting involved actively as well in some form.
Yeah.
There was there's like a picture of Scott Bessant's like
I
notes
saw that.
at something.
Yeah.
Like it just I can't believe that that's real. If someone's just like, you need to buy $5 billion or $10 billion worth of yen, like why would you write that down on a list on a piece of paper as the only thing on the list? Like what?
To do buy yen.
It had to be in like one of those meetings where you're just like, why are we here? Or like, I need to make sure that I look important, and so I'm going to be writing during the meeting, so I don't have to say something in response to this. I'll just be, because I'm writing, I'm thinking and deliberating.
Oh, right.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Everybody who's listened to me has been buying yen for years.
I own some yen, yeah.
I know you do.
Good old yen. Love me some yen.
Good old fixie.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the deal there? Obviously, we had that little baby intervention. Is this time
Well, we
different? Seems like more of the same.
We didn't raise rates, and our bonds are going out of control, and so Japan's going to repatriate all their money if we don't help bail out the yen. And they were like, "Hey, we're gonna fuck all this up if you guys don't bail the yen out." And then Basant was like, "Okay, do $10 billion and sell dollars by yen." You know?
Yeah, that's going to help. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking for a long time how, a lot of the disinflation that we saw, a lot of it was, of course, due to Biden shorting oil and doing a great
Yeah.
job at that. But also, we've just been exporting our inflation to Japan, among other places, right? And so
Did you see that the SPR is down to 307 million barrels?
we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Who needs oil, anyways?
It's just the lowest.
Apparently
that we've
no one.
seen in our lifetimes.
Yeah, you know, nothing crazy.
Yeah, we're just gonna find out what the safe level of low is by exceeding it. No
Yeah,
big
of course.
deal. Well, then we'll know.
No, it's
Right,
not like
yeah.
we need it
Unfortunately,
for our military or anything.
Unfortunately, there won't be a next time because we'll find out when the salt mines collapse, and then we'll have to find somewhere else to put the oil. If
I
we
mean,
ever
I feel like
refill it.
the oil they're getting out of the mines at this point is just sludge anyway, right? Because of the compaction or whatever with the... There's like a whole thing with that. Like the oil in the bottom of the reserves is like dog shit.
I don't profess to know much about it. I know more about
I don't either.
shipping it around than getting it out of the
I don't know about
ground,
the
but
compressibility of oil. I feel like something's wrong
No.
there, but
no, it's not. No, it's yeah.
but then
it's-
like how porous is a salt mine? You know, like is the oil like, is there enough pressure that deep in the mine that like the oil will permeate into the salt? And then if it does the salt get mixed in with the oil? And then if that happens, how the fuck do you refine whatever comes out of that shit show?
Well, I think you've just refined the flavor of the oil.
Yeah.
yeah, I bet
but,
it tastes
mean,
delicious. Wait, is this
are you
how
gonna-
head
is
sauce
this how
is
you
made?
promote your new YouTube channel, Cooking with Crude?
This is how head sauce is made.
I know a lot of like no seed oil nut jobs that get deep on board with that program, and you got to sell it as a way to increase your testosterone.
Right, yeah, just cooking.
By-
Yeah, use
by-
crude oil.
But yeah, just using copious amounts of dead dinosaur. Just be like, just tell people to
I
make
mean,
like their dick
isn't
bigger
it
or
kind of
something.
all dead dinosaur?
Dead algae mostly, and dead trees. for
Yeah, I mean,
coal.
it's really like a lot of like Permian forests and shit, right? But yeah, there's some dinosaur mixed in there.
Is
Yeah,
it
there's
time to
all
bring
kinds of
back
shit.
one of my half actual conspiracy theories I have? That
Sure.
we have no idea where oil comes from, and it's actually a semi-renewable resource that is
That we're
some
constantly getting
sort
more
of-
of.
some sort of cycle that we're not fully aware of that's happening
Why would you
somewhere.
believe that?
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know all of the evidence that points to the oil coming
That shows
from,
that we
you know-
keep finding more oil, even in places where we wouldn't think we should.
No, we
and
just
that-
keep digging deeper for it. It's not like our
Mm.
understanding of what's going on under the Earth's crust is all that great, you know. But like we're just. It's
Right.
it's not like we're.
There's a
finding
whole
tons
uncharted
of-
world down there. We know nothing
It's
about.
not like
it.
there's like a bunch of oil on the surface that we're finding anymore. You know, it's just we're
Wait,
just
wait,
digging
hold on.
deeper and deeper. Or
Is our
fracking.
mantle 100% oil? Is it just like,
Oh
are
my
we just a
God.
thin crust around
If
a
it
sphere
is,
of oil?
what are we
How-
lubricating?
How? Ooh.
Interesting.
Are we gonna talk about
How-
mega structures? This is gonna go way off the fucking.
We are actually
flat
just
Earth
like
realm.
an oil ampule for the aliens.
This
so when
is-
they need the oil, they just crack us open and get
Well,
it out.
so I think this is a
So
testament
there's like bacteria
to how,
living on their like little oil storage.
Exactly.
I think this is a testament to how boring Warsh is. Like the brain just immediately pings and ricochets off of Warsh and goes to any other topic.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's complete nonsense, and that's what we're talking about now. So technically, we're still on the topic of Warsh, if you think about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so rates higher from here. I know we're all kind of biased in that direction. I think rates go higher. I mean,
Kashkari thinks rates go higher, which I thought was slightly interesting. He was one of the 25 bippers.
I mean, Warsh literally sat there for like an hour saying things like, "Our commitment is to take sticky prices and unstick them." These are direct quotes.
That's
He said,
revolutionary.
"Inflation is a choice. Inflation is the Fed's choice."
no.
he described the 3 FOMC members that dissented as a family fight. And then he said, start with first principles, ask hard questions.
Does he know what first principles means?
Yeah, you
No.
have to. That would imply that the market is, and that would imply that monetary policy follows a set of well-known rules, and it clearly doesn't. Like, none of these economists have any idea what the fuck is going on and just make up theories.
He said fit for purpose and focused on the future.
Fit. Okay.
Play the ball, don't play the Fed.
On AI, he commented, we are in the first or second inning of this revolution. This is a big paradigm shift. And he just kept saying, we're going to have a task force for that, for any question that he didn't know how to answer with some random skibidi toilet line.
Wait, hold on. You can't. He's been there for what, 2 months now?
It's been there longer than Gensler.
How many months does it take to set up committees? He's still determining what the committees are going to be. It's been 2 months. If it takes that long to even decide what the committees are going to be, there's no way the committees are going to do anything during his tenure. Well, there's very little likelihood they would do anything regardless, but
The
if he was
committees are
actually
there to serve the purpose of appearing like he's doing things while doing nothing.
as most committees do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They think
that's
a
what
lot.
committees are usually for.
Really good at
Yeah.
thinking about stuff, and then they think about it some more.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in committees trying to be like, guys, how do we stop talking about this and make a decision? I'll tell you this.
But that would end the committee. Hold on. This is where you're making your
exactly
your glaring
because
error.
I don't want to be on the committee.
If the committee goes on forever, then the money you get paid to be on the committee is endless.
You don't get paid extra to be on a committee. That's not how committees.
Why are you
work.
getting? Well, you're clearly not an economist. Economists
Yeah, you need to be in a better committee.
to be on committees. Yeah,
They're paying people to be on the committee.
This is where you fucked up in your career path. You were like,
they're paying rich assholes.
All of this knowledge I've collected, and I'm going to share it with the next generation so they too can be successful. But really, you could have just learned basic algebra, become an economist working for the Fed, and gotten paid extra to be on additional committees.
You know, if your committee goes on long enough, you get promoted to think tank.
Yeah,
and that's when you really hit the big
you
shot.
get into the private think tanks.
Mm-hmm.
I have had the think tank fantasy before. It'd be like, it'd be great to just be paid to just think about stupid shit all day.
Have you ever been an expert witness?
No, but I have been asked before, but I've never really cared enough to actually do it because it's always just seems really weird to me.
You get paid for that too.
Yeah, they do. They'll offer to pay you, but it's always like weird. I don't know. I just
expert. I don't know what I'd be an expert witness in. Jerking off. Like, yep.
I remember my fluids professor in undergrad was talking about a time that they were an expert witness. I think it was in a murder trial, and they were able to make some important claims in the trial based on how long it would take to drain a tub.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
That sounds interesting, though. That's not a very boring expert witness testimony, though.
Yeah,
mine would be really boring.
I'm intrigued. How long did it take to drain the tub?
What was draining from the tub?
I don't know. He didn't really
the viscosity of the fluid in the tub make a difference when draining.
The point was that the rate at which the fluid leaves the tub is proportional to the height of the fluid in the tub. Well, it is related to it, so it's not linear, and so yeah, you have to do. It's not that hard, but you have.
Were the pipes coated in Teflon?
I don't know.
I have a question. If your water supply was poisoned by DuPont and is full of Teflon PFOAs, does that coat the pipes in your home and make them non-stick?
I do need to know this too.
I want to do a study on the number of toilet cloggings that occur in areas with high rates of DuPont chemical PFOAs and find out if their toilets clog more or less.
And their
So
bowels.
you want to try to figure this out through inference, not by actually just taking out a piece of the pipe and sectioning
Well, I
it
feel
and
like if
doing a
we
chemical
pumped Teflon
analysis.
through a toilet and then flushed it next to a regular toilet, we would already know. You know, but like what I'm curious is the residual Teflon at 2 parts per million passing through this toilet every day, and in West Virginia 50 times a day for a single person household. Is that coating the sewage pipe in a manner that would increase its flow rate?
After a lifetime of eating food that was prepared on Teflon coated cookware, does it coat the inside of you and lower the friction for things to go through you?
And what about
tell
what
us.
about heart attacks and arterial blockages?
I use
Does your blood
ceramic
clot just zoom
cookware.
around your body at extra high speed and never stop anywhere?
Just instant embolisms?
Yeah,
No, it
unfortunately,
doesn't get stuck in the brain. It just, because the Teflon. It just keeps going. It just goes in a loop.
A Teflon brain, I love it.
You just get like a weird headache every 30 minutes.
Right, you just shit yourself and seize, and you get up like nothing ever happened.
That sounds like my dog right now.
Oh,
J-Frosh, you tell us if your Teflon coated intestines have a higher flow rate.
I don't know. I haven't done the control studies.
Yeah, we needed to get to him when he was like 12.
Yeah, I have a rate. I don't know.
I remember that time you sharded. Did that have something to do with it, or was it separate?
I don't actually. Anyway, okay. I don't remember this.
Flatulation.
All right. So Kevin Warsh is undiscussable.
Yeah, it
But
seems
clearly,
like,
I mean, everything that you just said that he said, you look at Dork's face, my expression was the same. I was just like, "Oh God, that doesn't sound
great.
Doesn't sound great."
I offered to give you an LED light mask. That way you could share your facial expressions.
And I said, "Sure, let's try it." But we need the mouth hole. Remember, we discussed we need.
Yeah,
the
he needs a mouth hole.
Well, they don't come with mouth holes. And also, why do you need a mouth hole?
We could get him a little
So
countryman
that I
mic. He could like hide in his mask.
So that I don't sound like this when we're talking on the podcast.
Oh, we'll get you a lapel mic.
Yeah, get him a little tiny little head warmer, something
I
that comes
have
down
a
from the
big
forehead.
beard. Where's it gonna go? I had to
Goes
do this
over
during
your
COVID.
face.
I had to do this during COVID. I had like the mask that went over my face, and I tried everything to try to get it didn't work.
No,
The
yeah, they
beard
make ones
inside
for
the
stage
mask?
actors that like go right on like the forehead right here. You get one of those.
Why don't you just put a surgical mask on, trim your beard around the edge of the surgical mask, and then shave off everything that would be below them, like underneath the mask, and then that way you just have like a beard, like space for your mask, you know, like a parking spot.
They made beard masks that were like crazy, like low, like this. They were weird.
Yeah, I had some.
I feel like those could not have been airtight in any way.
They were definitely not. They were just like pull up the flap to yell at me from across the room.
Yeah, I had one of those. I had a few of those long beard ones. They kind of worked. I only wore them in my car when I was driving by myself, but they seemed to work.
Yeah, I had a various amount of them because we made a bunch of them for the hospital people, so they could like have them to hold their masks up.
People that drove by themselves with the mask on.
Oh, right, yeah.
Was so weird. Those people.
That's
Oh,
scared.
yeah.
Yeah, that scared me. I never understood what was going on there.
They
I
just
also
were so
didn't
exhausted
understand
from
the
work they
people
didn't
that
even have the
like
energy to take it
wore
off.
the mask under their nose but still kept it on their face.
Those
Well, that
people
was-
they just didn't want to smell their own breath, and it was
It's like
hot
walking
and
around with like your
gross.
dick hanging out of the top of your pants. Like,
Well, no, it
it's-
was my professor did that, but that was
Mm.
because
like you
his shit
buttoned your
fucking-
pants, but you've pulled your dick out the top of it.
if you wear glasses, then it becomes immediately apparent why some people would do that, because like your glasses immediately fog.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't. You know, surgeons wear fucking goggles, right?
Yeah, okay.
Like
So,
the mask was designed with eye protection in mind.
so my fucking stat mech professor should have just had like just some fucking goggles on while he's trying to present to a
you should
class
have
and
gotten
read his
some of those.
lecture
Like, who was
notes.
it? Was it Scottie Pippen? I don't know sports ball people, but like, who was the guy who played for the Bulls and he had the little goggle glasses? You guys remember that shit?
I don't know. Scottie Pippen was the one who knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is, right?
He's the short one.
Who's the short one? Scottie
No,
Pippen.
he's
was
the short one. Scottie Pippen was
No.
the short one on like the
No.
Bulls or something.
No.
No. Oh.
No, but I know what you're talking about. They wear them in baseball too.
Oh, do they? Okay, yeah. He should have gotten a pair of those to wear over his mask.
Yeah, probably.
All right, we're super far off topic. Let's get into.
I feel like Ron's. I pissed Ron off with some
What do
sort
you
of
want,
sports
Ron?
ball
Ron's
reference.
point-
Who's this?
Horace Grant was the one who wore the
Horace
goggles.
Grant. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Gherk, you're older than
Was
you
Scottie
think.
Pippen the short one? Was I right about that?
Fuck me.
And Ron also posted PFAs in drinking water do not coat your pipes.
So Ron is over here trying to usurp me still. So do I have to start fact checking you guys to beat Ron? That motherfucker.
Okay, well that's not even true. PFAs exist in some tap water in parts per million.
But the question is, do they bind to your pipes?
Well, I mean, we're talking about a higher concentration.
Fact checking with Gemini.
Yeah, stop
Take
fact
it
checking
with
us with
a grain of
Gemini.
All right.
We're on a higher level.
Yeah, fact
We're
check
trying
us.
to think
Fact check
outside
us
the
with
box.
Claude.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
don't put us in the
Ron
box.
Ron just gave me the ammunition I needed to move along. Speaking of
Oh,
AI,
are we finally getting onto our second topic?
Yeah.
That was a lot of talking about Warsh.
and food and
No,
Yeah, we
just
got a
Warsh.
lot of questions here, guys.
That
Let's
whole
get it fucking
conversation
moving.
since the start of this has been about Warsh.
well, only like 2 minutes of it was about Warsh.
It was
That's the
actually about
problem.
Warsh.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
The
30
whole
seconds.
segment was about Warsh.
Okay,
You're about
AI
Warsh.
AI Capex. Just going to transition. We had some earnings.
Teflon coated colons was just a metaphor for what comes out of Warsh's mouth.
Oh my god. I don't want to coat my intestines with Teflon, please.
Okay,
It's not very
AI
slick of you.
Capex. We had one of the weirdest weeks in Mag 7, I would say in Mag 7's history, trading wise this week. Amazon went up like 15%. Apple went down like 10%.
Apple failed
Microsoft
to
went
sell
up
China a
9%.
sufficient
Google
number
went
of
down
iPhones.
7%.
Yeah, so I mean, Microsoft. You know, the big thing is that Microsoft proved AI can make money by incorporating AI into all of the products they already sold. That is now AI revenue. It's actually genius. You know, I bought this Logitech mouse last week. I used this to explain it on the stream. And my Logitech mouse, this is the version 4. It comes with an upgrade right here. It's an AI button. And when you press that button, it summons a wheel where you can then press another button that will take you to your preferred chatbot. Okay, and it's right here where you would rest your thumb. It's not inconvenient at all. It's not like you accidentally press that button 500 times every time you use the mouse. But this is an AI product. It generates AI revenue.
It generates AI metrics.
This is proof that AI is profitable because I bought this. I bought this,
You know what
and it
it's
has
also
an
proof
AI
of?
feature. So clearly, AI makes money.
You know what it's also
The
proof
fact that
of?
Microsoft has shoved Copilot down everyone's throat against their will, attached to the subscriptions they're already paying for, is absolute and definitive proof that AI is in fact profitable.
Yes, and every time you right-click a PDF, the little Copilot button is right next to your fucking cursor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Copilot is egregious.
Would you
It's-
like to randomly edit this PDF?
All right. Would you like to
Yeah,
open Copilot because you highlighted a couple letters on it?
I still think my favorite is in PowerPoint. It gives you like suggestions for PowerPoint slides, like not just like the format of the slide, but like the content and the organization of that content on the formatted slide. And it's always just like, why would I want that? Like, I don't need random content. I need purposeful content. Like I don't need it to look overly fancy and
Jay Fresh,
visually
the NBA's
verbose.
yearn for the slop, okay?
And then you're like, I don't want this. The window is taking up like 1/5 of my window space, and I don't need any of these suggestions. I'll just close it. And it says, close it until the next time you open the app. It's just like, you can close me, but I'll be back.
Right, yeah,
bitch.
it's Barney from The Simpsons, right? Getting thrown out of the bar, right? And he pops back up behind Mo.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Microsoft did actually used to publish their actual quote unquote AI revenue. They broke it out. They have stopped doing that. It's been at least a year, a little over a year, since they have broken out AI revenues. So the AI revenues that are so good that they can't shut up about them, they won't tell you what they are, but they're good.
Yep. That's what that means, Jay Fresh. It means it's now just part of everything else because it's so integrated into their system.
Also, what fraction of the actual revenue they get? They said cloud expanded a lot. I think a lot of them had pretty good cloud numbers. Obviously, a lot of that's coming from their own capex, right? They take the capex, they invest it into OpenAI and Anthropic, and then those people buy their cloud services and give them the money right back. There probably isn't even actual money that changes hands. It might just be tokens. Because apparently everybody's just going crazy for tokens now. We've got crypto tokens, we've got AI tokens, intelligence tokens.
Would that not be like widespread embezzlement if a company were telling its investors that it is giving another company money, but then in fact just gives them tokens, and the money disappears off the books?
I mean, it's called continuous net settlement, and it's classy.
Yeah, it's not circular financing, okay? Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
all right. I hear the van coming for you, Gherk.
Sending the money to them just to send it back to you is inefficient. Just net it out.
Yeah. No, yeah, you just take the money and make it go somewhere that makes your stock go up. It's
Do we
easy.
want to talk about the newest financial metric that is now part of discussing the Mag 7?
What's that?
Free
Return on
cash
innovation
outflows.
Wait, what happened? What
Amazon free cash outflows were up 7.9 billion against an expected negative 23 billion.
Hold on, how are we doing on return on innovation? That was like 2 years ago now that they came up with return on innovation. We still,
That
because we
sounds like
still,
DEI. Are you trying to get us arrested?
we still 2 years later don't have an actual return on investment. But I want to know how the return on innovation is going.
Oh yeah, well you saw that they're solving math problems.
Well, they already
no.
They've already, innovation has peaked. It's like Murphy's law. We've yeah.
I see.
All right.
Well,
okay, so wait, why did some of them go straight up and some of them go straight down? Google went down. Microsoft
their
went
free
up,
cash outflows
Amazon
did
went up.
not beat expectations.
Mm.
I'm gonna make this a thing, I swear to God.
well, yeah, you make it a positive number again, and everybody's happy. You could put the green plus next to it.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't they do that? Why are they like, oh man, we're losing money on our free cash flows?
Yeah,
why
all the
they
MBAs
just
rename,
rebrand, and pivot?
green.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's investment. That's what they're doing, is they're investing. It's classy. Once again, it's all very classy. Number go up. Doesn't matter if it's bad or not. Yeah, I don't know why they when someone straight up when someone straight down. I'm sure it probably has to do with their fucking capex increasing like fucking crazy, but
No, it was the ones that made money on cloud services relative to their spend went up, and the ones that didn't, like Meta, went down.
oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
not
and
only
Google's
so,
just simply Google's not outflowing enough cash. You know, they were only their free cash outflows were only like 3 billion.
That's
well,
they got to pump those numbers up.
So I think one of Google's challenges, at least in this ridiculous round tripping game that they're all doing, their challenge is that even though they are also invested in their competitors, which any smart monopoly would do, that's got their eyes on killing and absorbing any potential competition. But they are also competing against them, right? And it's harder to financially engineer that, right? They can call their operating expenses capex and keep it off their operating expenses, and spread that out over 6 years, even though they're doing it every quarter at an ever increasing rate. But it's a lot harder to put that on the revenue line.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like Google's got. I mean, let's be honest. Google's going to win whatever this war of stupidity is. It's kind of inevitable that they do so, and they've been signaling for forever that they're willing to do whatever it takes to win through war of attrition. And you've got people like Microsoft that aren't willing to do the same thing, right? Pulling back a little bit on OpenAI, and Amazon is, who knows what they're doing. They always kind of seemed like they were following late and just kind of saying like, well, we've already got the biggest customer base. Maybe we'll throw our hat in the ring and try to prevent other people from scooping that business. But
the most I've seen from them in LLM is just Rufus on their shopping service. You can ask Rufus.
Have you ever asked Rufus something? I have not.
I have by
usually
accident.
I'm just like, I need this. I'm going to go to Amazon and get it. I'm never like, man, I need some. I want to go shopping on Amazon. Like, who is on the Amazon website browsing?
The last time I did that was when I was looking for a relay, and I wanted to make sure it was the right relay. And Rufus was not helpful.
That's not really shopping. That's just like looking for the thing you want.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go to DigiKey?
That's true. I should have just gone to DigiKey. I'm kind of dumb. Sorry. Sorry for disappointing you, Dad.
Mouse, and actually, like DigiKey, like all the other ones are they kind of just copy it. Like Mouser's really similar now too. But yeah. DigiKey and chill, baby.
It's true. Oh. Okay. Well,
tell you how much they have in stock, and they always have like 10,057 of them in stock, and it's just like,
right, yeah. So I guess the actual cloud provider hyperscalers did okay. The children wearing a hyperscaler trench coat didn't do that great. Okay, that kind of tracks, which kind of makes sense for this phase in the cycle, right?
Yeah, the cash flows will just get worse.
Yeah, exactly. And as they get worse, right, it just comes down to who's actually still growing an adjacent segment, right? So it's understandable. I'll take it.
Yeah, but it's still hard to tell how much of that growth is just being funded by debt.
Well, a lot of it is. I mean,
right, but that's the thing, is it's hard to tell. You can't tell just from the numbers that are there. I mean, it's pretty obvious that some amount of the bonds and the cash flow that's leaving and going into the AI companies downstream are just turning right back around and giving it back to them.
Well, yeah, that's how this all works. That's why this all works, I should say, not how, but why.
And it's so funny because not only is the revenue coming in that way, so it's really just we took on debt and called it revenue, but they also are including the quote unquote mark to market value of their ownership stakes in these companies in their earnings, which it's a very illiquid market, and a lot of people would be very unhappy if the valuations ever were to go down, and so they just keep going up, and so their profits look insane to the point that like the numbers for the S&P earnings for last quarter and this quarter and potentially the next quarter just they just are no longer meaningful numbers. They just look made up.
Well, it sounds like they
Like,
kind of are.
what was the quarterly growth rate? It's like 40% or something crazy like that. And if you took out the hyperscalers investments in these companies, it's like 12%, something like that. It's just insane. I was reading something on FactSet. I think it was like 40%, but if you take out just Google's numbers, it's 27.
Okay.
So like almost, it's like a third of the earnings growth in the S&P 500
is
is
stonks.
due to is Google.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
And but AI is also doing so great they won't tell you exactly what their AI revenues are and where they're coming from.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's so ubiquitous in all of their operations now that like to do so would be an exercise in futility to try to even unwind all of that information, Fresh. Don't
Yeah.
you know?
I'm sure.
Yeah. It's very complicated. You wouldn't understand.
Could they just use AI to do it? Checkmate.
No. Their AIs are too busy solving
That's the
obscure
only
math problems.
look. The only thing that AI fucking does is make stupid dashboards of things. Make a dashboard that breaks out your AI revenues. Do we want to talk about the math stuff briefly?
I mean, we can. It looked like it was some pretty like those topics are pretty heady, and so I mean, it was fun to read the headlines for them, but I didn't look into the math itself.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this in the past with the Erdos problems, and this. So let me summarize and maybe help people understand what it is and what it means. Potentially interesting. They claim that of the 10 problems that they solved, that the API equivalent, I think what they said was the equivalent API costs were something like $2,000 to solve those 10 problems, like $200 in API calls, which, you know, to solve a hard math problem that other people, I don't know, it's hard to know. It doesn't seem like these are problems that were very interesting to people in any field. It doesn't look like there's like anybody actively working on some of these problems. But anyway, if you can solve a hard math problem near the frontier for $200, that's pretty cool. But there's some caveats there that would be good to get some clarity on, and that is they did mention that they asked it to try to solve a lot of other problems too, and those didn't work. So these are the 10 that it was able to solve. And so the question becomes, you know, the true cost of solving the problem, part of it was finding the problems it could solve, right? So what they're telling you for the price is of problems that it can solve them for $200. But what we really want to know is how much compute did you spend in your endeavor to solve math problems. And if they spent $200 per problem equivalent, or maybe even more, who knows, and you asked it to do 1,000 problems, and it was actually $200,000, or you asked it to solve 10,000 problems, and it was $2 million, and you got these 10 solutions for $2 million of compute. That's very different. And the other challenge is there's a whole host of other things that are caveats to this as well, which is the same with the Erdos problem, is that in these math is built by a bunch of logical steps, a logical inference. So you basically say, if this is true and this is true and this is true and this is true, then this must be true, because there's no other option. And you can keep building that way, and you can keep looking, do I have enough mathematical constraints to isolate something and say this must be true because all of these other things can't be true. It's like a Venn diagram kind of logic. You keep adding circles. Anyway, and so in that case, it's kind of like a puzzle. So you could imagine you could take every truth that you know, and you could relate it to how it matches with other truths. And so you have essentially like almost like a chess game, or really more like a puzzle where the pieces can kind of go together in multiple ways, but there's many ways they can't go together. And you can just search and try all the little combinations and see what you come up with. And a lot of, and I don't know for this list of 10, but a lot of what this stuff is finding is finding counterfactuals or counter examples to a claim. So like a lot of these mathematical claims would be like, I don't think there's anything that could meet these criteria, this mathematical criteria. I don't think anything like this exists. And so like the mathematical claim will be like, nothing exists that can do this. And so then this will just search for all the weird esoteric things, and it can be very, very weird. It could be like 400 iterations deep of like, it's just stringing a bunch of these claims together and coming up with this thing that nobody would ever think of, and say like, oh, I found something that technically breaks this. And yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's part of logic. You gotta find all the little crevices, but yeah, it's solving seemingly problems that nobody really cares that much to solve, that don't really seem to have much real world impact. And it's doing so basically by brute force. And so it's still brute force. So if you want this to be better, if you want to take this to a point where it is routinely solving so many math problems so quickly that mathematicians are out of work, you have to scale the brute force. So you have to take this $200 and make it what? If they're solving 10 problems out of 10,000 or more, and you want to up that acceptance rate, what are you going to, like 20,000 a problem, 200,000, a million, right? And you could say, oh well, it's going to get cheaper over time, but is it going to get cheaper? What is the actual cost here? The cost isn't really the efficiency, because the efficiency is just guessing. It's brute force. It's very inefficient. The cost is really the hardware and the power, and those are going up, not down. And so if you want this to be a revolutionary method for solving important problems, the hardware has to get cheaper and the power has to get cheaper. And nobody is prepared for that to happen.
Yep.
Everybody wants it all to get all the hardware and the power to get more expensive. And that's just the law of supply and demand, right? As demand goes up, as you want more of it. This is not a Jevons paradox situation. If it was Jevons paradox, all this shit would actually be getting cheaper. The only thing that's getting cheaper is what made up tokens, right? I'll just change the definition of the token every quarter, and now it's getting cheaper because I've changed what a token is.
Right.
Anyway, soapbox over, but just to say that, yeah, will it continue to improve? Sure, but at what cost? And I'm telling you right now, nobody is being honest about the actual costs of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And what we are all going to find is that the cost of brute force is very unpalatable. The true cost of brute force, because it is exponentially worse than what you think it is right now.
Well, geez, you sound like a doomer.
I'm not a doomer.
Yucking my yum.
I love
Sound like a
technology.
panicking.
Seriously.
Yeah, when did you catch such a strong case of TDS?
I didn't even mention Trump once.
He actually got a case of AIDS.
Yes, I have AI delusion syndrome. Now AI derangement syndrome.
Yes, derangement syndrome, not the delusion syndrome. You're on the opposite spectrum.
Yep, it's AIDS either way.
Oh, God.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about AI now that I've ranted, or do you want to? I know Gherk's just like, oh my God.
Make it stop.
No, what are you talking about? I love talking about AI for years.
Hey, man. I'm not the one pumping money into it.
Yeah, Gherk. Fuck.
Yeah, you are. You
I
have
just
a
think-
401k.
I just think
I'm not
it's
the one pumping money into it.
I just think it's important that people people need an actual grounded explanation of what's going on in these things that aren't overly technical, and hopefully I achieved that aren't either like super doomy and being like, it's going to replace all your jobs, like mathematics as a field is dead, humans will no longer ever be able to do it, or the flip side is, just like it's going to solve all of our problems magically. Like, we need more of the people that are just like, hey, based on how this works and based on physics and logic.
Yeah, I have a lot more
these
fun
are
when
the
you talk about cooling them.
expectations.
When you talk about water, when you talk about chip cooling, I have a lot more fun listening to that. That's a great one to go off on. If you'd like to go on another tangent here, let's talk about data centers and cooling them and how that's a really big challenge.
I mean, it is a big challenge. I've talked about it in the past. I don't really want to. I don't think there's anything salient to add here. There hasn't been like a big breakthrough or any big scandal or anything. Like, nothing's changed there. It's still a challenge, and people are trying to do it.
They'll violate Carnot efficiency at some point. Okay, trust me, bro. They're gonna beat physics on this
and
one.
I'll be there. I'll be there when they do. But I mean, they're pretty good about making sure if your power efficiency is, yeah, they're pretty good about not doing that up to now. But
Well, yeah, I'm AI'd out. I used it to make some boilerplate code, and I was like, man, I'm a genius. Look at me. I'm worth $1 billion.
yeah, just don't. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, that's all you got to do.
All right. Well, the last topic before we move on is tariff refunds.
You got your tariff refunds, right, guys? I'm so stoked. I got mine. It was in the mail. It was $0.00. It was
I
great.
mean, so far it hasn't been super high for anybody else either, right?
I think Amazon got a big fat tariff refund, didn't they?
What was it?
A large number. All the numbers don't make sense anymore. Let me see.
A bazillion.
Something like that. A Bezosian.
A Bezosian. A Bezosian.
A bazillion.
600 million. That's like nothing. I mean, or is it? I don't
That's
know.
half a billion.
Maybe?
If I handed you $600 million, Jay Fresh, you wouldn't know how to spend it. All right.
I would buy a $600 million egg from my LLC.
Not a goose. Eggs don't lay eggs, Jay Fresh.
Yeah, but the goose wasn't valued. How am I supposed to buy it? Okay,
You
we're
just
not doing
valued
that
it.
again. All right, is there
What's
anything else
good
to
for
say
the
about
goose is good for the gander.
that? Okay, now who's trying to get DEI into this?
Right. You motherfuckers. Yeah, I don't know. There's some tariff refunds going on and stuff, but I don't think we're gonna see a fucking red cent of it.
I mean, of course not, but you know, is
Yeah,
it?
there's a big giant circle jerk. The money goes out and it goes back in, but where it comes back in is not where it came out.
Hmm.
Yeah, think about that one for a bit. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, the American consumer is a money diode. There you go, Dork. I know you and your audio equipment. You got that one. Money goes
Money
one way,
diode.
baby.
The money only goes one way. Well, it comes back the other way a teeny tiny bit. Barely a smidge. Barely measurable, but it's there.
The leakage return, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Fucking the whole tariff thing is a mess. So I don't know what else
Cool.
there is beyond that, other than that it's a fucking mess, and apparently it's still going on, and I wanted to stop.
All right. Well, I would just like to say this was our first macro overview where in a long time where we are not going to talk about Iran. So let's move on to earnings.
Woo! Yeah, it's a bunch of earnings.
I'm sure half the questions we got are about it anyway. So
Yeah, we're there's and then another big topic that we're not going to discuss because we're going to hit it in the questions, and I'm not bringing it up because we're going to hit it in the questions. Yeah, so we got a lot of them. So.
yeah. All right. So earnings, another packed week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot to look at. Caterpillar, SpaceX, SanDisk, ConocoPhillips.
Wait, am I losing my mind? I thought Whirlpool was last week.
Was it?
What was last week that was appliances?
I don't know.
We've been doing this for too long.
I know. It's one big giant earnings, right? We got Sport Radar, sorry. Got the Clorox company, McDonald's. Actually, McDonald's might be interesting.
Oh, McDonald's is always interesting and not interesting at all. It's fun earnings.
It's fascinating.
I would like to I have something to say about Clorox. Clorox, if you're listening, if you are the listener, I had to get salt for my pool and Leslie's was closed. So I went to Lowe's and I got pool salt at Lowe's, and the pool salt brand was Clorox brand. And I put that pool salt in my pool. And the next morning I was playing Marathon, a great game that I love that's dying, but it's a good game. And my wife comes in while I'm 10 minutes into a cryo run, which no bueno. And she says, something's wrong with the pool. I think there's like mold or some sort of algae growth or something on the pool. And I was like, what? I just shocked it and like balanced it last night. And I went over there and looked at the pool, and lo and behold, there's a big brown spot. And I had to look it up, and apparently it is rust from impurities in the salt. Low quality salt will have metal impurities that when they sit on the pool, they form a rust layer. And so now I'm going to have to go get like, some sort of basic solid, stuff it in an old sock, tie it to a pole, and rub it on the floor of my pool because Clorox sells shitty salt. Clorox, your salt is shitty.
Can you also rub that on my ass?
For a fee, I could do whatever you want.
All right. I'll be hitting you up after this for a quote on ass rubbing. Basic ass rubbing. I'm in. I'm fully in.
Wait, are you getting the basic package, or are you getting the?
I'm getting the basic bitch service.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If your pH is below 8, JFresh, I don't want anything of that. Okay. I mean, I'm looking for the basic service. Yeah, no, the earnings is I guess Walt Disney might be
Source.
interesting. There's a lot of stuff,
Ron.
but it's like not a lot of like big like,
R-
electronic shit necessarily.
Ron just posted Dork's little back end service.
Are we back to that again?
Oh,
I love
every
it.
week, man.
Oh man. Okay. Gherk, any earnings that are blowing your mind? I mean, SpaceX is going to be fun.
I mean, obviously, AMD, SanDisk, those are going to go a long way towards proving out more of the rebound and like infrastructure and semis. So I think those are somewhat important.
What about ConocoPhillips?
I don't think so. I think the expectation is that oil profits are going to be higher. I am interested in what they're. I am kind of interested in the major refiners and what they're losing. But maybe McDonald's would be interesting.
Maybe Wayfair.
Ooh, Shopify would be kind of interesting, I think.
Oh yeah.
What about DraftKings? Now hear me out.
No.
Now hear me out. Okay? If we're really in a recession, DraftKings is going to be the last one to fall, all right?
They're going to be doing great, yeah, because everyone's just going to be trying to.
No, quite the opposite. People are going to be cutting back. They're going to be
they're
cutting
not.
back.
They're going to be trying to get out of the permanent underclass that's coming by gambling.
The lottery tickets are cheaper. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. But, yeah. Okay. What about SpaceX? When does it unlocks after this earnings?
Yeah, soon. I know it's got to be soon. I don't remember the exact date, but it is coming up shortly.
Do you think that they can polish that turd?
I
mean, it seems like Tesla's struggling. They're debating like selling their Giga China or whatever just to stay afloat. Optimus robots, of course, are delayed because nobody knows how to build an intelligent robot. So it was stupid from the start.
Like a lot of things. I mean, I don't necessarily know if this earnings will have a lot of bearing on the stock price. It might. And if it does, I feel like that would be disastrous. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean the stock price is already pretty. Ugh.
Not if you're an initial investor. If you are, then you're fucking chilling.
It was below like 115 for a little bit, wasn't it? What is it now?
It still is.
It closed Friday at like 108.
Oh my god!
It's below the IPO price, right?
Yes, it's very much below the IPO price.
It still has a market capitalization of 1.44 trillion. I don't see how their earnings continue to justify even that, but
yeah, no.
I mean,
maybe
like I've always said, the price of SpaceX doesn't matter.
Like
the price of every stock.
It popped up a little bit when everybody speculated, and then it's just been going.
If you're an initial investor,
down.
You're probably a little concerned, but you can't be that concerned at this point. You're still up a lot.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's literally nobody to sell it to.
That's not my problem.
Who is the next marginal buyer of the SpaceX shares, right? I mean, this is a Ponzi scheme.
Citadel.
So who's the next? Too soon.
Citadel and other market makers.
Rip Aschenbrenner.
Right.
Leopold.
Yeah, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. You know the guys. You just fucking, they'll buy it.
Can I just say, I dislike this Leopold fellow with the heat of 1,000 suns. However, I feel like some of the criticism against him is a little unfair. Like, people are just and I'm getting this from people who like don't follow this AI investing saga at all. It's just like become a meme. And it's just him cackling on a podcast like somebody with Asperger's. And it just seems a little unfair. Like, yeah, he's got a weird laugh and he's a gangly, skinny dude. And yeah, he's a super strange guy who workshopped AI investment ideas at his fucking wedding this weekend. But yeah, I mean, he's got a weird laugh. Leave him alone about that. He's I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, having an AI think tank workshop at your wedding, fair game. Go nuts.
Yeah.
Crucify him over that. What is going on there? Well, I think what's going on is that isn't his wife like, doesn't she work at Anthropic or something like that? She's like an assistant to the Dario.
It wouldn't surprise me. I don't keep track. I don't keep that much. These people aren't fucking celebrities. I don't know anything about their fucking.
Yeah, true.
You know.
I know way too much about these gooners.
Yeah, right. Just like that, we're back on AI. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. Not a whole lot of earnings that are going to be that important. Maybe like 5, 6 of these companies that are going to maybe impact sentiment, if at all. If the earnings are surprising in any way.
We got Disney on Wednesday morning. I didn't even see that in Uber.
Yeah, moderately interesting.
Well, Disney should be interesting after Netflix kind of shit the bed.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with the Disney? Didn't Disney have like a $1 billion? Weren't they going to give OpenAI like $1 billion to put their characters in? What was their video service? The video generation that they shut down. God, I can't even remember what it was called.
Doesn't even fucking matter.
My 11-year-old just told me Sora.
Hmm.
And he said they shut that down, right? He knows more. Okay. Before we put Ron back on, we're gonna put my 11-year-old son on. He'll be on next week.
Yeah, he's more informed than the rest of us for sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the calendar. Last week,
let's do it.
We had a calendar.
Yeah, last week Warsh confused everybody. GDP was only 1.5% with all this fucking data center spending, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that was the crazy thing to me. Consumer confidence still in the toilet. Core PCE was 0.1% month over month, which was kind of expected, right? Because CPI was somewhat muted because of oil. But yeah, the GDP growth rate quarter over quarter advance of 1.5 was well below like the 2.1, 2.2 that was expected. Another one I thought was interesting that I didn't see a lot of people really zeroing in on, personal income, another month where personal income was below personal spending. So personal income rose 0.2%, personal spending rose 0.3%. And the GDP price index quarter over quarter, the advanced print, was way hot, 6.3%, where the expectation was around 3.6%, which is what it was in the previous quarter.
Yeah, the price index was way up. I mean, obviously inflation is dragging growth down. I think that was really kind of what upset the markets into the end of the week. I mean, we got a rebound on yet another peace deal, which has been reaffirmed over the weekend. But the BOJ was pretty hawkish too. Obviously, they went ahead with a hold because that's what they do. But I think they are raising rates in September. And then Michigan consumer wasn't great either.
Yeah,
Those
another
guys in
print.
Michigan.
I mean,
an
it was better, but it wasn't great. And also, like the PCE data is from like the during the ceasefire
Yeah,
when we were dragging down the SPR even harder than we were during the initial part of the war. So like,
yeah, it's just oil. It went up a lot
yeah,
and then it
but
went down
oil's
a
back
lot.
up again. So like, I don't even think the PCE print matters.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
definitely not
agree.
an indication of anything.
Certainly month to month it doesn't matter. We've beat on that drum for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
And Warsh has kind of talked about this a little bit. It's you know, how do you quickly react when your information is so noisy and so old and so sparse? And so any month over month is you're just looking at like half of the number itself is just noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michigan consumer sentiment. Those Michiganders, they still don't know that that 100 is average. They still think 50 is average. Someone just needs to tell them 50 is really low, 100 is average, and that'll fix it.
Well, we got a lot of other things they need to fix in Michigan.
Do tell me one thing they need to fix in Michigan.
Apparently, they're daycare centers or something.
What?
There's like a whole thing, wasn't it, with like the fucking daycare centers?
That wasn't
and,
real.
like,
That was just some douchebag who was like going around outside daycare centers and they're like, you can't come in. Like a grown man with a camera trying to break into daycares.
That
and
also
record children.
wasn't Michigan.
Was that Minnesota or something? It was one of
Yeah.
those northern states.
It was an M state, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit?
Minnesota.
Those Michiganders can have their sentiment, all right? Yeah.
Yeah. Minnesota's for Somali daycares and Michigan is for sentiment.
Okay, got it. I now I know the distinction between the two.
I'm glad that we get our consumer sentiment from the Brown Belt.
Yes. They need the Los Angeles Consumer Sentiment Report.
Do they call it the
Ooh.
Brown Belt
The
because
UCLA
people...
Consumer Sentiment Report or the USC Consumer Sentiment Report? Because those would be drastically different.
Well, it sounds like we need both then. We may need the Kalamazoo Consumer Sentiment Report or the Sheboygan Consumer Sentiment Report.
That's the same as Michigan.
I guess so, huh? Shit. Cleveland Consumer Sentiment?
No. Also Michigan.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay.
You just pick the most delusional spenders in the country, like New York City, San Francisco, LA, and what? Is it Dallas or Austin?
In Texas, delusional spenders?
Yeah, Dallas, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, sure. Yeah, Dallas
It's all the
is
like
more
old
like
old
the...
oil money driving around like $25,000 Polarises. They buy new ones every year.
Oil money's more like Houston. Dallas is more like infrastructure and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, one of those.
And tech, somewhat. Although Austin is a lot of tech. Austin's more crunchy.
Well.
All right. Time for a commercial.
I think so.
I wonder how much the Miami Consumer Sentiment Reports fluctuates based on the price of cocaine.
Probably a lot. Why so long, producer Ron?
I'm only playing Leaps because I learned my lesson on zero DTEs. But all my money is tied up on a handful of trades.
Why not use GammaStrike?
That's too complicated. It's accurate, but I'm not a genius. I can't figure that out.
Nah, you'll learn it. They've got a great docs page, and there's a roundtable videos section that will break it all down for you.
No kidding. I'll have to check it out and maybe stop going so long on everything. Thanks, Dork.
Don't thank me. Thank Team GammaStrike.
Get to the best part of the show.
You're goddamn right it's the best part of the show.
I look forward to it every week, getting right into that little back end.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
So
that's
you just jump right in, you know. But it's a little back end, even though
It's
you
room
can
for
just kind of.
everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So we got some audience questions here. In case you couldn't tell, we have a metric fuck ton of them. So if you didn't know, right? If you didn't know, anywhere you want to get this podcast, or you're watching it, or listening to it, or what have you, or on social media, or talking to your grandma, or whatever, you ask a question, we're going to answer it. Okay. Ron is listening. All right. He is everywhere. Okay. So what we've done, since we've got so many freaking questions, is we are going to kind of go over them. They follow some similar topics, so we're going to hit some from each topic. And if it doesn't quite, scratch your itch, feel free to ask us again, and we'll get to it. We'll try to, maybe figure out what it is about that topic that wasn't answered, and ask us to elaborate, whatever you want to do. So our first category is the big thing, because we've all been talking about it for a long time, especially Gherk, who is Mr. Long yen, short Nikkei. We got it. Something that happened over the weekend. We got Japan and the U.S. talk about buying yen, selling bucks, all that shit. So let's see here. Japan and the U.S. both officially intervened in the USD JPY in order to fight the weak yen. This seems extremely bullish in the short term. However, with the wide difference in interest rates, my worry is that it will be short-lived. How do they make this stick and actually get the carry trade to unwind, or is this just a band-aid until the next Japan rate hike? What do you make of the U.S. selling euros to fund this instead of selling USD? I think that's a good question.
They're scared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Japan has to protect their currency, and they're going to do some yen intervention, and the U.S. is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Before you start doing anything with those treasuries you've got, let us give you a hand here. All right. Let's use a quid pro quo. Okay. You scratch my monetary policy, I scratch yours.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're touching
kinda
each other's
kinky.
monetary policies.
Oh yeah, they're fully doing it. So yeah, I thought it was a fairly interesting development that happened. I mean, it's. I think this person's kind of right though, that this isn't necessarily like the trigger to some great unwind, but it is an interesting signal, right, or an interesting sort of happening. Right, it's not a nothing burger; it's an actual happening burger.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think this is the straw to break the camel's back quite yet. I think that's going to happen once the treasuries start flowing rather than the dollary dues or the euro-y dues. But
yeah, I mean, do we want to? I mean, the basic idea is that you can leverage the difference in the exchange rate, or sorry, you can leverage the difference in the interest rate between Japanese bonds and American bonds by shorting the Japanese one and longing the U.S. bonds.
yep, you borrow yen, you turn it into dollars,
and your risk is the exchange rate.
Yep.
And,
So yeah.
Is you're basically you're short yen and long US dollars. So as long as like the yen keeps going down, you're doing great. And the more you do the trade, the more the yen gets pressured.
Yeah.
And so nobody wants it to unwind, because then you have to go back in and close all those trades, and then you lose that basically free money. But what happens is that as you keep dropping the value of the yen doing this trade, you start increasing inflation, right? Because as the yen goes down in value, the cost of everything relative to the value of the yen is going to go up. And so you have increased inflation. So essentially what you're doing is you are exporting your inflation to another country, in this case, Japan. And so now you have a situation where Japan is starting to get, this trade is large enough that they're starting to get enough inflation that is becoming unpalatable. And then you throw on the oil crisis, where Japan doesn't produce any of its own oil. It has to import all of its oil. And you put a lot of pressure on them to get their currency under control, to basically say, hey, this thing that you're doing to keep credit flowing and to keep rates subdued in your country is hurting us, and we're going to make you stop doing it or do less of it or unwind some of what you've done. Obviously, that's going to have an adverse effect on our rates, right? So our rates are going to go up. Our credit growth is going to get slower as, this quote unquote free money becomes less free, and we have to start pricing in a little bit more risk. And, so the Treasury, whose sole goal is to fund the government by selling treasuries, says, wait a minute, I don't want those rates to go up. Hold on, wait a minute. Don't sell
Well,
those.
the thing is that
I'll sell
they're
some euros. I'll stop I'll stop the banks in my country from devaluing your currency for a little bit by now going to devalue another currency.
Yeah, we'll push some inflation over here
in your honor.
Yeah,
I'll try to divert some of it.
Well, the thing is, they don't want to have to sell treasuries into like it's selling on selling. If Japan actually starts to do that, which that's the last thing anybody wants, is for Japan to start offloading some of that U.S. sovereign debt onto the market. So they'll probably even backstop that.
Basically, it's a game of hot potato, right? I mean, rates have to go up. Rates yearn to go up. They must go up. Mechanically, they must go up because we are taking on too much debt and we are not adding, growing the economy commensurate with that
we're
debt.
not growing out of the debt like we were back in 2000 and 1995.
Especially now.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
even worse.
Either debt holders must increase their holdings of debt relative to other things, which they don't want to do. They have their allocation, they want to stick with it. Or rates have to go up and provide a better return. The only way to do that is for rates to go up to provide a better return. And that's exactly what's happening, and it's been happening for a long time. And everybody is fighting that process and trying to think, nothing bad ever happens. We can spend as much money as we want. We can go into as much debt as we want. There's no problem with that, right? I think the U.S. just officially hit $40 trillion in debt, which, of course, it's not even a real number anymore. Nobody even knows what it means. I might as well say that we hit 40 bazillion dollar dues. Bezos bucks. Like it's just a meaningless number at this point. And the fact that it's meaningless it is a problem for everybody, because it means that value is become untethered to reality. It's just this floating thing that it's a very bad situation, and it's just another. It highlights a few things. One, we are running out of the more conventional methods that people have been using to try to pretend like this isn't a long-term unsustainable problem. But two, they found other ones. I think probably an enduring question is, how long are they going to be able to do this? Like selling other currencies to try to keep Japan going? How many more pockets of lower inflation and lower rates can we actually get into? I don't think there's that many, but I don't know.
Yeah, this was an interesting thing, right? Like so what really the ramifications of this are that this carry trade has kind of been what's allowed the blow of higher interest rates to be softened quite significantly. talking about things from mortgage rates to credit card rates and you know, all the various terms used for durable goods, auto loans, such and such. If this continues and Japan continues to intervene in order to stabilize the yen, those rates are naturally going to go up, because all of those things were predicated on this idea that, you know, oh, you want to buy a house, you know what I'm going to do as a bank, if I'm sophisticated, is I'm going to go and borrow yen, right? And then buy USD with the yen, and then take that yen and loan it to you, or that USD and loan it to you, right? And then that spread between the what I owe in the yen and what you owe me is going to be really great. It's way better than if I went and bought a 10-year treasury, it's way better than the actual, like, you know, borrowing on the 10-year at a lower rate and then selling it to you at 30 years a little bit higher, all just in USD. That spread is not that great. Yen has been kind of a little buffer on that. So, and there's a lot of cool, sophisticated tricks you can play in order to hedge your currency risk. But if these interventions become, you know, more voluminous than expected, then what'll happen is you'll have these trends start to show up in Forex that can actually cause those currency hedges to start to fall apart. And that's where you start getting problems, and you start getting, you know, then what you're going to have is people demanding more return on their investment when they're lending to people in USD. So you're going to see mortgage rates go up a lot. I mean, so that's the thing, is like I've for ever since 2022. I mean, even when mortgage rates went up initially, I've been saying the whole time, I mean, they're still cheap, and this is why. So if the carry trade loses its luster, we'll see over the next year or two what debt really costs, right? So that's the interesting long-term thing about this. But once again, I'm not entirely sure that this one intervention is like the sign that we're there, the, you know, the Alamo or whatever it is, what is it, the crossing of the whatever river.
I don't speak
we're not-
Texas. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're not there yet, but it's certainly interesting. It's certainly a development.
Crossing the
carry trade.
Rubicon, is that what
Crossing
you?
the Rubicon, thank you. Yeah, we haven't crossed
Which
the
is
Rubicon
not
yet.
in Texas. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's in California. Yeah, we haven't crossed the Rubicon, nothing like that. But this is an interesting development in the whole situation, and it kind of points to everything that's been discussed by this small ragtag group of ruffians is kind of been on the right track. And the people who, you know, poo-poo and guffaw and all that, they can all get fucked.
Yeah, I kind of want to say that this is obviously like still a band-aid for the carry. Like unless the economics of the trade change, then it's not going to collapse, and so we need spreads to narrow. And if the Fed hikes, spreads are going to materially widen. So I would say that, you know, it's not solved by any means. But the key isn't just like eliminating the rate differential, it's making short JPY sufficiently dangerous that it's not worth harvesting. So if you earn like 2 to 3% annualized, right, but USD JPY can drop 4 to 6% because of, like, you know, the Treasury or the Ministry of Finance intervening, you get a lot of unpredictability, and the Sharpe ratio of the trade is going to collapse. So in order for it to like stick, you need like a combination of repeated unpredictable intervention plus hikes plus eventually lower US rates, which is probably not happening right now. Maybe the more interesting thing or like part of this like effective band-aid is that you know, they used euro, so the New York Fed sold euro rather than USD, and that lets, you know, the USD strengthen through, and we need a strong dollar right now because of inflation. through like Euro JPY. So basically, it's like triangular arbitrage is going to transmit some of the pressure over to like USD JPY without explicitly saying that like Washington is actively selling dollars, because that's like a whole other thing. And I think like as long as the Treasury has like substantially more euro reserves, which they did, then yen reserves, they'll continue to lean on that in order to help out the MOF with their interventions. But you know, if they're trying to raise yen volatility, which I don't think is what they're trying to do, then you know, attacking the short JPY trade while minimizing the collateralization of US dollars is probably their best path to doing that in order to prevent broader volatility from emerging from FX markets. And then, you know, we've got yeah, it's
I mean, like my question is, what if we continue to sell euros, right? Like, what is Europe going to do in response? Because we're just
They're
taking the
going to dance
inflation
in
and
the
pushing it
street
somewhere
and
else.
thank us. They're going to remember to say thank you.
That's probably what they're going to do. They're not going to. They don't have any treasuries to utilize to strengthen their own currency or anything like that, do they? Interesting stuff, actually. If this does continue, right? If that's the path that the Treasury is going to choose, I think that might lead to some interesting stuff. But this on its own, yeah, it doesn't really strike me as a lot, but it is certainly a development, which we haven't had a lot of those. So
between that and the Fed raising rates, man, inflation's going to get bad again.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the Fed raising rates is going to, like, if the Fed raises rates, sure, that's one thing, but I don't think that necessarily matters as much as just like interest rates going up.
Risk-free overnight returns going up is good for juice, baby juice.
It's bad for people who need overnight lending, who need to borrow money overnight. That's going the cost of that's going to go up. So banks are going to have a little more friction.
They're gonna do reverse repos again.
Oh, right. Yep, that's right. Forgot reverse repo. That's the way to go.
They're gonna get that free 4%.
America, I love it. Yeah. So that's pretty much. I mean, for all these questions that have to do with the carry trade and everything, it looks like a lot of the concern is it has to do with whether or not this is, one, can you quantify it? And two, is this enough to kind of keep things afloat or not? Right. And is this going to continue? I think we just kind of have to wait and see what yen does over the next, few months.
Yeah,
as we have for the past 4 years.
I think it's going to be very similar to the last few, right? It's going to be a little teeny tiny band-aid and it'll last a few days and we'll be right back where we were.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Is it's gonna bounce right back. But I mean, it's the signals that Japan is starting to lose tolerance for this trade to continue. So, if this escalates, right, an escalation of this would look like more euros, hitting the market, and then Europe responding in kind to these actions if they're not wanting their inflation to go up, over the next 4 or 5 years, and getting themselves in the same position as Japan in a weirder roundabout way.
It's like that scene from The Office with Michael Scott, Dwight, and what's her face?
With the finger guns.
Yeah, the three-way, the triangle of finger guns. Yeah. We got to get that meme up here.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's not there. It's not there. We're not there, but that's where it could lead.
No finger guns yet.
Escalates. No finger banging yet. But if this escalates, it could lead to some finger banging, and in the worst case scenario, what I have dubbed the debt wars. But I
I
hope we don't
hate you
get there.
so much sometimes. Stop saying finger banging.
Why? Because you haven't been finger banged in a long time and you're jealous? It's okay. Look, you just got to ask nicely. All right. Maybe you do the laundry and then maybe you'll get your chance.
We have a lot of questions.
Okay. So that's carry trade for you. So the next one is just interest rates in general, I guess. So 10-year has been going up quite a bit. Remember that TA chart I shared last weekend? The TA has been proven right. 10 years going up a bunch. We'll see if that trend continues, but there are people wondering whether that's going to be some sort of a structural issue with equities. It could be, but people, and that obviously relates to government spending, all those things. So, increasing yields, right, in the open market, right? Does the market give a shit? I mean, that's really what people are after. Does the market give a shit? Is this really a problem? U.S. spending is growing. I mean, this all kind of comes together, right? How is
Part of the
this
reason
increase in
part of the
rates?
reason the yields are up is because Treasury supply is enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's and then we have inflation, and then we have a huge fiscal problem. We're spending so much money on
I think it's like 90 grand a second.
on debt, yeah, and paying that debt. And then in addition to that, we have every major corporation that is the backbone of our economy issuing trillions of dollars more in debt. So, if you're looking at private debt relative to our public debt, it's growing at an astronomical pace as well. And so, and the combination of these two things is simply going to create risk. And everyone was like, oh, yields are up because of oil, but then they announced the ceasefire and they started moving towards the MOU, and oil dropped, but yields are still up. And we're even seeing that tonight overnight. There's another quote unquote peace deal that Iran has denied repeatedly at this point. But we see oil down, and we see yields, from the 2-year on up higher. And this already isn't background noise for equities. And as the front end of the curve starts to move up, you're going to see forward expectations for profitability drop, because right now, or previously at least, the cost to finance the capex that was going to deliver this growth that's never coming was cheaper. But now the cost to finance that growth is significantly more, and that reduces that potential in growth. And so, now you're looking at the forward curve of like individual corporate earnings dropping simply due to the cost of finance. So even if people are bullish on it, those PEs have to come down mechanically. And we're already seeing that happen. We're seeing it happen in semis. There's a ton of fear that like the spending can't keep up and the earnings are going to diminish, and semis are cyclical anyway, so you see a lot of like flightiness there. But I would say that this is already impacting equities. It has been since like early June, when we really first started to see the signals of this, like over financing worry. We've been seeing it through earnings, where like we talked about earlier, the free cash outflows continue to grow, and this is this is bad, right? And it's like that's their cash spending. If you look at their debt spending, it's growing at an astronomical rate, and they're all trying to outspend one another to gain control of this market that is unproven. And if it doesn't prove out exactly as expected, and if it is worse in any way, if AI doesn't replace enough jobs, if AI can't vibe code hard enough that it is worth the cost of the tokens, which are going to increase exponentially as they try to pad the amount of debt they need to issue, then this bet has failed. And when the bet fails, it's going to get really ugly. And the bond market's saying that. The bond market is saying that all over the place. Equities are still largely ignoring it, but they are down from their high, and their realized volatility has picked up enormously, despite better earnings. We've seen semiconductors hit a bear market and bounce back, and then almost hit a bear market again, and they're still up 60 something percent on the year, and so I think we're already seeing the effect on equities, and as the front end tightens, we're going to see that effect more and more, because the short term costs to finance are already biting a little bit. I spent most of last week telling everybody, like, hey, there's going to be like $234 million or $1 billion in treasury settlement on Friday. And a lot of that's maturing debt, but we opened at like 74.90 and dropped to 7400 within like 50 minutes. So that's a lot of equity selling to finance debt purchases, because the Treasury is not going to slow down its spending, right? They're locked in. They're issuing that debt regardless of what public companies are doing, and then you have all the debt being issued in private markets as well, which we don't even have good visibility on, and that's another risk factor. So I would say, we're going to start to see the CDS creep up, and we're going to see more and more impact on equities. And then, if you get a bank failure or something like that, which we're getting very close to, the 10 years at like 4 or 5, and there's a ton of hold to maturity debt that those banks are still sitting on. That's a big risk factor, especially when they need to roll it over.
So speaking of other debt, there's an article came out this week that BlackRock sold 12.5 billion in bonds. This was from Bloomberg on Monday at a yield of just over 7.5%. And it was only I think it was only oversubscribed at 1.6x. And usually they want these things to be oversubscribed by like 4x, 3 to 4x. If you compare that, this is for like a huge data center in Texas for Meta, the AI leader in chatbots. Everybody uses Meta AI.
Yes.
And so apparently it was about 2 percentage points more than the average similarly rated debt with an A or AA credit score.
Yeah, this is a classic case of where's the money going to fucking come from. I mean, when you've got spending numbers from a very small consortium of companies rivaling that of sovereign nations, the demand to borrow is just impossibly high from both the U.S. and these tech companies and everything. Where's that money going to come from? I feel like the debt market is starting to ask that question, not quite in spreads, but in treasuries for sure. I think we're seeing a lot more demand for some sort of something. Because you've got all these companies saying, hey, we'll give you something. We're going to give you a lot of something that is very competitive to this. And look at us. We're Meta. We're Google. We're basically treasuries, man. You get your 100-year fucking bonds for me and everything's going to be great. So, there's the US Treasury has some stiff competition actually, which is kind of shocking to think about, but it's true. The ramifications for that long term are certainly going to be interesting. So that's pretty much my thought, and I went over it last week too, just kind of how we're in crazy town about all this shit. But It's
I mean,
it's
you think
strange to
about
think about.
just from the AI investments, like you think about how much indigestion already exists over the debt that's been raised now. We're going to double that in like the next 3 quarters.
Yeah. It's rivaling the US spending. It literally is. Like it's actually like it's not an insignificant portion of US spending is just
yeah.
like you have the government spending, you've got AI spending, and they're on like similar orders of magnitude, which to me is actually kind of shocking, right? Considering how much money the US government spends and the fact that we're able to just shoulder this all without demanding more because like the leverage is just it's unbelievable between both parties, but the AI investment, yeah, there's a lot of indigestion, but there's also so much money tied up in it too that it's just if it doesn't play out like Gherk said, if it doesn't play out, like it's going to be pretty disastrous for the U.S. debt market.
I have some terrible news for you guys. It's
What's
not going
that?
to play out.
Oh man, shit. It's a super risky investment. Everyone knows it is. And I don't get why we financed all this without having it be at crazy interest rates. I mean, so what's going to ultimately happen is once it's painfully obvious and the MBAs have to sell their fucking AI bonds, fucking yields are going to just tank. They're going to go to the fucking like core of the earth.
Do not whitewash what has happened here. It was not obvious to these boneheads. They were baptized in the water of AI. They saw the future. And if you didn't understand their vision, then enjoy the permanent underclass. They're going to get in while the getting's good because it's so obvious that this is the future. We need to give out these loans as fast as possible to whoever is willing to join us in this sprint to the future.
So let me boil that down.
Yeah, do not make claims like we all knew it was really risky. That's bullshit.
So people who got MBAs, which is basically a degree in drinking, and they went onto ChatGPT and said, "Tell me you're conscious," and it said, "I am conscious," and they went, "Oh my god!" And now here we are. Okay,
Perfect
and like I said,
test.
it is. So, but no, here we are. So think about how much money is in these bonds, right? And when people rush for the exit, where are they going to go? We all know where they're going to fucking go. It's U.S. Treasuries. And when they do, think about how much money is going to just evaporate from tech companies, right? Their ability for credit is going to be damaged for probably a decade, if not longer, just by the sheer amount of losses. And then, but the people who get out early, they're going to go straight to treasuries, and we're going to watch those yields just fucking go straight down. And then that's when you might actually see the carry trade collapse, ironically enough. So yeah, this whole thing it's all intermingled and intertwined, and it's all because people did not stop and think about lending so much money to these companies that, like I said, it is now an appreciable, it could be used as a ratio of US spending that would be a pretty large number.
We also already have banks that are sitting on, quite thin reserves. We have the Fed reducing their rollover every month in the short end, and like anything that causes that, like you're right, like anything that causes that spread to snapshot is going to have, catastrophic fallout.
And it's human behavior.
Yeah, and the U.S. they are trying to they're trying to keep nominal growth divided by like inflation above the borrowing cost, so that the like real value of the debt erodes, right? Like what we did after World War II, and that hurts bondholders and anybody saving money. But that's failing, right? Like I gave Ron article on this, or snippet of an article on this, but like the CBO, which is the Congressional Budgetary Office, projects 1.9 trillion in forward year 2026 deficit, with publicly held debt around 101% of GDP, rising to 120% by 2036. And there's no plans to increase our tax base. There's no plans to cut spending. I mean, I guess Trump's, announcing that he's cutting, congressionally approved programs like Medicare Part D, but he can't actually do that. The Congress has to approve that the termination of that program, which is, a very hard sell to the voters.
Yeah, no, we've
And
completely
we're not
failed
doing
to grow
anything
out of the
that we're not
debt.
doing anything that raises revenue. And these banks, I want to try to explain this simply because it's very hard for people to understand all the complexities of this. But if you're a bank and you have, let's say you're a super tiny bank, you got $10 million. And your goal is to lend money and make interest on the money you lend. If you lend all 10 million of your dollars, you're going to go bankrupt because the net interest income is not enough to support your depositors.
Yeah.
So you are going to fail as a bank. And so you can only loan a percentage of those total depository amounts, and banks are already, exceeding that. There are banks out there that are lending money that has not even been deposited with them. And they are heavily incentivized to lend when yields are this high, but they've got to get money from somewhere else. And if we start seeing, I think that's where we see the biggest effect on equities going forward, is when the banks need to start selling their equity holdings for cash in order to maintain their loan books and maintain their depository requirements. And if they fail to be able to do that, then the FDIC and the Fed have to step in, and you start getting banks failing. And given that these are all, these banks are all deeply in leveraged products, and they're using same as cash collateral that is in the form of bonds. When the value of those bonds, the value of their 10 and 20 and 30-year bonds is dropping precipitously, then the value of their margin, like the amount of margin they can carry, erodes rapidly. And then they have to start closing positions because they no longer meet the margin requirements to keep those positions open.
Yeah. No, that's it pretty much hits the nail on the head, really, like of the crux of the problem. It's a big giant mess, and the AI spending spree and lending spree, more importantly, is just gasoline on the fire. Right? It's just, you took it and now you're adding a side quest to lend even more on it, right? So yeah, I don't see how this ends well, unless, of course, it has to go not only as well as is advertised, but better. It needs to go monstrously better than advertised in terms of revenue, right? Those cash outflows going steeply negative.
Yeah. I mean, the earnings really have to show up. I don't know if it needs to go better than what's priced in, because what's priced in is fucking absurd.
It needs to go better. I mean, it really does.
We're still saying
in order
like
for us to
NVIDIA is
grow
going
out
to
of our
make $1
GDP,
trillion in revenues in 2027.
I mean, that's, once again, if we're going to try to grow out of this debt, I mean, that's what needs, and this is what our bet is. It has to go like so well. It has to go so well that tens of millions of people starve to death. That's how well it has to go.
Yeah.
Like quite literally.
I do agree with that.
So, and I don't think that's going to necessarily happen.
Okay, who's the panicking now?
I'm saying that's how good it has. I'm saying that is the like, that's the real like wager here, right? I mean, if we're going to say this is a good way to put it, and it's not going to happen. So yeah, I don't know. We're in a big giant mess, and no one wants to do anything about it because We've still got some cocaine on the mirror. We're all jerking off.
Woo!
It's feeling great. We're spitting in each other's mouths. It's fantastic. Oh man,
Ew.
we're all so
All
high.
right.
It's great.
Next question.
Okay, so what was the next topic we had split apart? Let's see. I think that covers just about all of our treasury stuff. We just went on a rant, and it looks like we pretty much answered all of them. Let's see. Oh, the Chinese models. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Yeah, that's part of why it's fucked up. Okay, here's one. How about a GammaStrike question?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Give me.
On GammaStrike, when the 0DTE IV Smile starts building 1 or 2 strikes above the current price, what additional metrics do you look at to confirm whether that IV is forecasting a move or just reflecting changes in option demand?
And reflected changes in options demand do forecast a move.
Yes. The change, yeah, you're seeing the change in those option prices, which changes the hedges by the market.
That's not just demand; it's the price of those options going up.
Yeah.
So if you're not moving already, you're gonna, because people are paying more for those options than they were worth, because they expect price to go up, and the dealer is then hedging those options. But I mean, it's telling you those options are either being bought to open or they're being bought to close. And
either way, they're bought.
Both of those are bought, and they are bullish. That is a bullish signal. So I mean, the IV alone tells you what you need to know. If you want to know like the severity of the move or how much it can move, then you could look at your individual levels. You could try to make an assessment, because sometimes you'll get like a spike in IV when you get a high test at a given strike. Especially if it's got like a lot of gamma on that strike, you'll get a bump in IV as you push into it initially, but sometimes that collapses. So, I mean, you want to look for some like durability and, call premiums continuing to move up. You want to make sure that the volume continues to stay sticky, and that, those are being consistently bid up, and it's not just an effect of the initial test. You want to make sure it doesn't turn around. If you see call premiums just suddenly like fall off a cliff 2 minutes later, it's very likely that the buyers who are bidding those options up have then sold them off. Like they've collapsed them because the breakout's not happening. And so, I mean, those are some good things to look at. So I would say volume. I mean, specifically to the upside, you want to look at call premiums. You want to look at, a falling PCR, and you probably want to take note of like the delta and gamma at that level. Like what's going to happen if it crosses that level? Are you recovering from a drop and moving up? Because that means that a lot of your upside delta might be negative, which makes the upside like kind of squeezy, which incentivizes bulls to push harder. Or has the index been climbing all fucking day, and it's just like a ladder to the upside, where you kind of grind it a strike and then eventually move up through it or get rejected off of it. And then, you want to see over time if your price action is becoming distributive, if it's accumulating at that strike, but the IV is a good signal of that initially. That's telling you, hey, people are buying these. So
yeah, good question.
Yeah.
So with that, we've covered most of these questions. Ron, I'm going to mark off a few more that we may want to hit on next week. Okay, so we'll throw them in there because I think they're good. But I mean, we're already 2 hours and 15 minutes into this thing. So why don't we move on to my favorite segment and probably the listener's favorite segment, which is stupid bets. Stupid bets. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose?
I already won.
Did you win?
Yeah.
No, well, it was a two-parter, wasn't it? I think we have to fight.
Yeah, but he won the main.
Yeah.
Was that the main one? I thought it was. I thought it was a
Diode.
split. I thought we were trying to do like a.
It's never a split. The second one's always to the tiebreaker.
What? No.
We've done it the same way for weeks. We're gonna confuse our listener.
I'm flying to New York, and we're gonna duel with rapiers,
We
and
can just do
one of
rock
us is gonna
paper
get stabbed.
scissors right
what
now.
are you gonna do?
You know, the little skinny ass little swords. We're gonna fight with those.
A rapier?
Yeah, a rapier.
You called it a rapier.
Whatever. I say
Like-
the I a little more than you do.
Like extra
Tomato.
raping.
Yeah.
Rapier.
Well, I mean,
That's
I don't
different.
know how it's pronounced. Okay, fine. Well, you know what? Either we can rock paper scissors it, or I can just give you the victory. I say we do rock paper scissors.
All right, let's go. Hands up.
Rock
I
paper
just want you-
scissors shoot.
3.
Oh my god,
Bastard.
that didn't count.
Rock paper scissors shoot. God damn it, Gherk.
You're a bitch. There's too
I
much
just want-
lag. We can't do
you
this.
fucking
This
take
is
it.
unreasonable.
You take it.
All
You
right.
I
take
just
it.
want you to know that this is not going to translate to audio only at all.
We
Worst,
just
Why don't we
both went
share it?
scissors and we
Ooh.
both went paper.
worst audio only
you ever shared
television of
anything
all
I
in
will
your
time.
life?
share my victory with you.
That's a big moment for you. I'm really proud of you.
I'm learning. They failed to teach me it in kindergarten. There was this
Oh,
kid
yeah.
and he kept taking my fucking tricycle at playtime. And so I brought my Darkwing Duck gun to school from home. And I told him it was something time. I don't remember what Darkwing Duck used to say. But then he cried and told his parents that I threatened to shoot him in the head, which I may have done. But he kept stealing my fucking tricycle. It was mine. It had my name written on it. Like, fucking Taka Woo, man. Fuck that kid.
I love learning things about you, Gherk. It's fascinating.
What if our listener was that person?
Taka Woo. His name was Taka Woo. I shit you not. This was his actual name. And fuck him. Hopefully he just, like, you know, died as a teenager in some sort of vehicular accident.
Damn.
That'd teach him to take other
Would
people's
the
fucking modes
vehicle
of
be
transportation.
a tricycle?
Tricycle? Yeah, I hope so.
Definitely a
Or he
tricycle.
like died on a big wheel in college. I'm okay with those outcomes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, new stupid bet. What are we doing?
Not like I hold a grudge or anything.
Yeah, you've never been known to hold a grudge.
No.
I've never seen you hold a grudge. So, what are we betting on? What's the bet? We got anything fun coming up that we can bet on? We could do if McDonald's earnings, they're going to talk about the weakening consumer demand.
What about SanDisk? No, McDonald's is going to be doing better because everyone's broke and they have coupons.
Ooh, we could do SpaceX cash flow.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
I like that. Are free cash flow or free cash outflow?
Yes.
We'll
You
do
just
a free
said the
cash
same thing
outflow bet.
tweis.
Yeah.
Free
We'll do it
cash
on
outflow bet? This is
Yeah, we'll
awesome.
do outflow.
Let's keep making
Okay.
this a thing. We're going to convince the big four to start putting this on financial statements.
Well, it's going to be green, so that the MBAs
Yeah.
who just
Yeah.
finished getting over
cash
their
outflow is up.
alcoholism and getting into their cocaine addiction, they're going to see green number. Good. Okay. Yeah. So who wants to go first on SpaceX's predicted free cash outflow?
I mean,
I want
I'm
to
assuming we pick
say
a number.
$3 billion. $3.44 billion. Free
Ooh,
cash
getting
outflow.
specific. Free cash
And we'll just
outflow.
whoever's closest, right?
FCOF.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever's closest. Do we do prices right rules?
No, I think
Yeah.
sure. I'm gonna do 10 billion.
10 billion.
Ooh.
Wait, hold on. I
Wow.
probably should have looked at their prior free cash flows.
I'm pulling a number out of my ass. It just feels right.
so was I. Yeah, Dork, you can't look.
I'm not looking.
right.
I just wrote your guys's down so I can figure out where I want to position myself. I am going to say
right in between us where you normally are.
a stupid bet, Eiffel Tower. Okay, I'm gonna do. Hold on. I'm gonna do 2.81 billion free cash outflow.
The precision on your
2.81 billion?
completely made up numbers is ridiculous.
Is it a completely made up number?
Oh, is it?
Oh, I'm off by a decimal point. Damn it. Can I change my bet? 2.71?
Sure.
Okay, 2.71 billion free cash outflow.
Is that what the expectation is? The average
No.
expectation?
No, it's just it's a billion times Euler's number. That's why I picked it. So yeah, we're going 2.71 billion.
Who's Euler? I've been learning about this Euler guy.
Did you guys know that SpaceX has net margins of negative 91%?
They got to pump
That's
those
cool.
numbers down.
Yeah,
I'm
they're going
like
to have
negative
to.
150.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
because
okay because their gross margin's 46%.
Oh yeah, that makes it all better.
Yeah,
Of course. Okay. Well, do we need to throw a or do we need to throw a parlay on this one? I don't think we do, since these are just numbers now
it's
instead
pretty
of yes no's.
precise. I mean, we could do something fun, like what's their debt to asset ratio?
Are they going to discuss the possibility of merging with Tesla?
Wait, is Elon going to be on the earnings call?
Oh my God! What if Tesla
gonna say something
buys
racist?
out SpaceX for 20 cents on the dollar?
Ooh, I don't think they're gonna do that yet. We still got time.
No. After the lockup, right?
Yeah, if Elon's gonna be on the earnings call, we could do a bet on whether or not he says something racist. He probably will.
What's he gonna say racist about space?
Is he?
Oh no, it's gonna be racist about his terrible margins.
I mean, he could talk about like shooting an Optimus robot into space. He hasn't done that yet.
Ooh, yeah, no, okay, yeah, he's gonna say something so ridiculous and outlandish, like we're gonna put an Optimus robot on Pluto. That's what we're gonna do.
What if they put an
he's gonna
Optimus
say
robot in
he's
their
already
outer space data center, and the Optimus robot's job is to pull the GPUs out of their harnesses and then shake them about in the vacuum in order
to wipe out the dust bunnies?
No, just additional heat.
Ah, they're gonna be fanning them.
Oh
space.
yeah, fanning them in a vacuum. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
I guarantee
That's
he will
gonna
talk
cool
about
them
Optimus robots
100x.
maintaining the space data centers. He'll do that.
Do you guys remember Jensen Huang saying everything was going to 100x?
Oh yeah, he said, what was that about? The more GPUs you buy, the more money you save, or something. That was his other big thing.
Yeah, and it's weird because he's the only one really buying GPUs.
Yeah. Yeah, the vendor financing is getting a little on the nose. People are making too many comparisons to .com. And
I wonder if NVIDIA realizes that if they actually did have a substantial upgrade to their current chip, that it would put them out of business. Like it would be like suicide.
Yeah. See, what I just don't understand what the upgrade would be for, because it's not really going to provide.
Because Moore's law is like, you know, it's not done.
It's not
like Jensen's going to come out on stage. He's going to be like, I was wrong. Moore's law isn't dead.
No, he's been saying Moore's law is done because I've been saying, like, the analogy is like, oh, Moore's law isn't done because I can buy another computer and set it next to the one I already have, and I've doubled the compute. Which is,
are you trying to tell me that putting more GPUs on a single board doesn't multiplicatively increase the amount of load those GPUs can carry?
No.
Individually? So what is it? You're saying that the entire backbone of the AI trade is built on the idea that some guy thinks that, you know, putting his oven inside an oven will cook his pizza quicker?
Yes.
When you put it like that, it sounds kind of stupid.
Yes.
Oh man.
So I mean, but this is the issue. It's, you know, if you actually want to make what we have now more efficient in hardware, you have to make ASIC. You have to make specialized hardware. And he did buy Grok, GROQ, the other, not the Grok chatbot, but Grok, the company that makes these specialized inference boards. But it's unclear what it is they plan to do there, other than they just, monopoly buying potential competition.
Yep.
I mean, they sell a general purpose compute platform, and the more they specialize it, the smaller their customer base, right? I mean, one of the big benefits that their platform has had is that it's really easy to get up and running because they've put all the work into all the custom kernels and all the parallel
CUDA.
GPU. Yeah, CUDA. And that has value because it is so general. And once you go to like a board that does very specific inference for very specific models, you lose all that generality. Like you're just like, I'm going to make a board that runs whatever the newest Claude model is.
Well, couldn't you make one that just like you just feed it weights and then it spits out a result?
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it is, but you would have to.
The weights would have to be fixed though, when the dimensionality would be fixed.
Yes, so that's one way you can dramatically speed it up and reduce the overhead. But yeah, I mean, like the actual gains are really nowhere to be found. And if you look at so one of the few numbers that OpenAI publishes is the revenue per watt or revenue per gigawatt or something like that. The number hasn't changed since they started. So everyone keeps saying the cost of tokens is going down, but the actual earnings per power consumed, the actual efficiency of the business has not changed at all since they started. So they might be selling more quote unquote tokens, but they're not getting more money for them.
Yeah.
Shocker.
It's yeah. Once again, going back to our discussion on the debt and all that
Which
stuff.
means that yes, they're selling more tokens, but that's because the value of the tokens are going down, not up.
Yeah.
And so nothing there is no the best way to change that is to reduce the losses in the transistors. And that is Moore's law. And that is not we're done. We're at I mean they're going from, FinFETs to whatever they're calling the gate that's all around the channel. But the channel's becoming so small that quantum tunneling is killing, quantum tunneling is making the losses go up instead of down. Right? It's always a race against, smaller channels, less resistance, so less power loss. But you are competing against an increase in tunneling, and that's an exponential thing. And we're down to 10 atoms wide channels. So the tunneling is starting to become a problem. You can't go smaller. Like 2 nanometers is it. Right? I think Intel or someone's working on like a 1.8 nanometer node, but that's like basically it. Like we're there. All these chips are made on 3 nanometers. 2 nanometers is already getting diminished returns. 1.8 is probably going to be a bigger mess than it's worth. And there's nothing else. So, at least not in silicon.
Yep. So we're going to optical transistors.
Oh, good luck. Yeah, the speaking of losses, the thing with optoelectronics is you need resonators and things that carry light that have essentially no losses, which means you need them to be effectively atomically smooth, if not pretty damn close to that. We don't have any technology to do that. Not over the kind of length scales that they would need to build it.
Gotta love it.
You go and look at the research on the quality or the tightness of the resonators, the fundamental frequencies, and they're dog shit. I mean, they're getting better, but the manufacturing of that is just a whole nother level of challenge because they have to be so perfect.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, I was just fucking around with that because yeah, it's all just fucking horse shit. So I guess we got our stupid bets. Ron, you got those written down? All right, cool. Sweet. Well, in that case, I think them's the ropes, fellas. What do you guys think?
I think
That
it's a
sounds
pretty
like
long
a
fucking
good place
episode. Let's end
to
it.
Yeah.
wrap it up. Yeah.